Okay, hello everyone. I hope you're all doing well. All right, so I'm going to refer to one of the programs we wrote using nested if statement and point out how we can use the end logical operator to make that program simple. So it's when you go to the Learn Java playlist, and you scroll all the way down to the program where we use basically the one I named nested if statement example program. In this program, let me just maximize it and kind of skip it forward here. In this program, we created some kind of a scenario, and the scenario was a nightclub. And the only time you could enter the nightclub was if, first of all, you were of the age limit. If you were 18 or older. Okay, if you were 18 or above, you could enter. Also, if you had the gate fee, if you had the money to enter the club, you can enter. So both conditions have to be true for you to enter the club. If you're 18 years of age and if you have the money, you can enter, right? If any of these is false, or if both of them are false, you can't enter the club. So even if you are, even if you have all the money in the world, but even if you have all the money in the world, but you have less, I keep messing it up. Even if you have all the money in the world, but you're still less than 18, you can't enter the club. If you're above 18 and you don't have the money, you can't enter the club. The only time that you get to enter the club is when, first of all, you are above 18, and second of all, you have the money to enter the club. Now, we had to use nested if statements to create this. We had to create an if statement to check to see, first of all, if you were above 18. And if you were above 18, we went ahead to check to see if you had the money. If you weren't above 18, we told you that, sorry, you can't go to the club. But if you were above 18, we went ahead further to ask you if you had the money to enter the club. If you didn't have the money to enter the club, we told you, sorry, you can't go in. But if you had money to enter the club, we told you, welcome to the nightclub. So we had to use nested if statements for this. We can use the end logical operator to make our life a bit easy. And so that's the power of nested if statement. That's the power of the end logical operator. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. I'm going to open Dr. Java, and then we're going to do it here. Basically, you write the same program, but then using the end logical operator to make it simple. All right, so let's, since we're going to be accepting user input, let's go ahead and use the scanner class to accept user input here. We're just choosing to use the scanner class, but we could have also used the J-option pane. All right, so to use the scanner class, we have to go ahead and import it. So I'm going to import java.util.scanner here. Now with the scanner class, we have to go ahead and create a scanner object. So I'm going to create a scanner class type variable, and I'm going to call it keyboard. Keyboard is going to hold the memory address of a scanner object. I'm going to go ahead and create that scanner object here. New scanner. I'm going to use system. I'm going to pass in here system.in, which is going to accept the user's information, but it's going to accept the user's information as byte info. Because we are connecting it to the scanner class over here, the scanner class has methods that can convert that byte info to the regular data types that we already used to, for example, integers or doubles or strings. So let's go ahead and ask the user to enter, first of all, how much money they have. Let's ask the user first how old they are. Before that, let's also create constants for some of these values, like the age limit and then the club gate fee, how much money you have to pay to enter the club. So since it's going to be a constant, it's going to be a final value. The age limit, we are dealing with integers here, right? So it's going to be the 18 or 19. We are talking about integers here. Well, the age limit is 18, right? So let's declare this as an int type. So final int, let's call this club age limit, just like we did in the other program, club age limit. And let's set it equal to 18. Same thing for the club gate fee. It's going to be a final value. Since it's a monetary value, it can be a double value. It can be, let's say, 50.55 cents. It could be 25.50 cents. So let's declare this as a double, and let's call this club gate fee. And we know that when you're naming constant by convention, you keep them all uppercase, and if it's more than one word, you separate them with an underscore. So the club gate fee was $20. All right, so you have to be 18 or above to enter the club, and you, at the same time, you also have to have the money to enter the club. All right, so let's go ahead and display to the user, or tell the user to enter how old they are, or tell us how old they are. So system.out.println, we display to the user, sorry, my typing is a bit bad, how old are you? And then we're going to use a scanner object to prompt for input. So I'm going to call keyboard, I'm going to use a scanner object, keyboard.next. We are dealing with the age here, so next int. This keyboard.next int is going to pop up a text box, and it's going to allow the user to type in a value. Now whatever that user types is going to be converted to an int, and it's going to be sent back to us. And when it's sent back to us, we need a place to store it. Since it's returning an int, we have to create an int variable so that it can store that value. So I'm going to come up here and declare an int variable, and I'm going to call it this user age. So user age is going to store the age that's returned from this next int method, this keyboard.next int, right? And so now we have the user's age. At the same time, let's go ahead and ask the user how much money they have, so we can have those two values and we can test it. So I'm going to kind of do the same thing here. First of all, I'm going to display a message to the user, and I'm going to say that, how much money do you have on you, something like that, right? How much money do you have? Oops, my typing needs improving. All right, so how much money do you have? We're going to call keyboard.next double because we are dealing with monetary values, right? The user is going to type in a value. That value is going to be converted to a double because it could be 25.8, it could be 2.50 cents, $2.50, something like that. So whatever the user types, this is going to pop up some kind of a text box and allow the user to type in something, and whatever the user types is going to be converted to a double and sent back to us and returned to us. And when it's returned to us, we need a place to store it. And so I'm going to come up here, just like the way we declared an int variable, I'm going to declare a double variable, and I'm going to call this user gate fee or something, user gate fee here. All right, and user gate fee is going to store the gate fee that is returned from the next double method, because the user is going to type in something, and this next double method is going to take that input, convert it to a double, and then return it to us. So now we have the user's age here, we have the user's gate fee, right? So now we can use, this is where we use the AND logical operator. I'm going to go ahead and create an if-else structure. Instead of creating nested if statement, we can use one if-else structure to solve this, together with the AND logical operator. All right, so I'm going to say that if the user age, okay, first of all, the user has to be greater than, the user's age has to be greater than or equal to 18. It has to be 18 or above. So if the user age is greater than or equal to 18, which is the club age limit, so I'm going to copy the club age limit here and paste it. And I'm going to use the two ampersands, which means end. So what I'm saying is, if the user age is greater than or equal to the club age limit, which is 18, and at the same time, the user gate fee is greater than or equal to, it's greater than or equal to 20, which is the club gate fee. So I'm going to copy the constant here. Then the user can go in. Else, the user can't go in. So I'm going to display a message. Let me go ahead and copy this system.out.println statement, paste this here, and say that welcome, you can go in. Else, we'll display a message saying that sorry, you can't go in. All right, so this is where the AND logical operator comes into play. For the AND logical operator, it merges, it merges Boolean expressions together. For the entire, it merges Boolean expressions together into one. And for the entire Boolean expression here to be true, both expressions, okay, have to be true. If at least one of these expressions is false, then the entire expression, the entire Boolean expression resolves to false. If both of them are false, then the entire Boolean expression resolves to false. This is the AND logical operator. The only time this expression becomes true is when both of these expressions are true. All right. So in this case, if the user's age is greater than the club is greater than or equal to the club age limit, which is 18, which means if the user is 18 or above, and at the same time, if this is true and this is true, so if this is true and at the same time the user gate fee is greater than or equal to the club gate fee, which means if it's 20 or above, right, then you can enter. That means you have the money to enter the club. If it's 20, you can enter the club. If it's more than 20, you can enter the club, but then you get your change back. So if both of these are true, then the user can go in. But if at any time one of these is false, then you can't go in. And that's how the logical AND operator works. Both of these have to be true for the entire Boolean expression to be true. All right, so let's compile this and then run it. And how old are you? I'm going to enter 89. 89, yes. This is a random number that just came. I just thought about it when I just entered it. All right, 89, and hit enter. And I'm going to say I have only $2 and hit enter. It says sorry, you can't go in. Why? Because one of these statements is false. One of these statements is false. That's true over here. I'm of age to go into the club. I'm above 18, but I don't have the money to go into the club, right? All right, and that's why I can't go in. So let's try this again. This time around, I'm going to enter 16, and I'm going to enter, how much money do I have? I'm going to enter, let's say, $300. You need $20 to enter the club. You have to be of age 18 or above to enter the club. So I'm going to run this to say, sorry, you can't go in. Why? Because even though I have $300, even though I have the money to enter the club, I'm 16 years of age and I can't go in. The only time that I can go into the club is when these two Boolean expressions results to true. The only time this expression, which is merged by the AND logical operator, is true. The only time this expression is true is when both expressions here, this and this, are true. But when they are all true. So let's run this again. Make sure we type in proper values now. How old are you? I'm going to enter 30. 27 is my real age. How much money do you have? I'm going to enter $60. So that means that, first of all, I'm of age, I'm above 18, and I have the money. I have $60, and the gate fee is $20. That means you need to give me a change of $40 and allow me in. So when I hit enter, now it says welcome, you can go in. That means that both expressions resulted to true. No, if this resulted to true, if this expression resulted to true and this statement run, that means that both expressions here resulted to true. The age was over the club age limit. Okay, it was way over the club age limit, which means I can go in. At the same time, I had money. The money that I had was more than the gate fee that they were requiring, so I could go in. So I hope this makes sense. Yeah, I hope it makes sense. If you have any questions, please comment down below, and I'll do everything to respond to them. Thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time with the next video. All right then, bye bye.